So what we're going to look at today is we are going to start with the digital footprint. So our question for the digital footprint is, how can you make sure that your private information stays private? So in this lesson, you will think about the personal information that you choose to share digitally through various websites, apps, and social media. All right, you're going to have a printout of the Social Sleuth worksheet that you can work on. Unless you are in the virtual class, and then you will just make a copy of this worksheet from either here on code.org or in Schoology. There's a lot of information that we put on the internet, whether we mean to do it or not. While we might be okay with some of that information being online, there are other things that we would like to keep private. All of the information about us that can be found on the internet is known as our digital footprint. We want to be careful about what information is included in that digital footprint. So what is a digital footprint? Let's look at this worksheet. Okay. Gives you some instructions. Usually it has like the definition of the term. And so one thing that I'm going to show you how to do, if you need this document in another language, first thing that you would do is say, make a copy, okay, and then put it in your Google Drive. It's best to organize it, but I'm not going to do that at the moment. And then you can say tools, and then translate document, and then you can choose a language. And then it will create a copy of that document, but in the language that you chose. So if you wanted a copy of this in Spanish, then that's how you could get one. All right, so what is a digital footprint? A digital footprint is the collected information about an individual across multiple websites on the internet. So let's explore how small pieces of information spread across multiple sites on the internet can produce a fairly detailed picture of a person. Okay, this can be done individually. If you would like to work with your neighbor, someone sitting literally beside you, you are welcome to do that. If you are in class, you are not allowed to move to a new seat, okay? But if you are in a virtual class, then you're allowed to have a partner, but each person will be responsible for submitting their own document that is uniquely theirs, okay? So looking at our activity guide, to get a better understanding of how your digital footprint is created, you're going to read through several example social media pages and attempt to build a detailed picture of the users. Each user has profiles on multiple social media platforms, but they won't always use the same identifying information, so you'll need to look for clues to help figure out which accounts belong to which person. There are several users represented in the pages, but you'll only need to build a detailed picture of 2 of them. So you have user 1, you're going to put their username for whichever site you're going to look at first, and then user 2, and then you're going to put that information there. Okay, no, you put their username for each one because you're going to check each one of these. So you have three for each one. You have Jon Snow's Instaframe, his chirper, and his face space. So if John was the person you were investigating, essentially, then you're going to put his username for whichever one that you're looking at. And what you're trying to do is answer all of these questions based on the information he has on these 3 social media sites. You're going to say which social media site you found it on, and if it was shared by him or by somebody else, because that is absolutely a possibility. Once you get done, I want you to think about which information was most difficult to find, which details were innocuous on their own, but revealed private information when combined with other details, And how does this make you think differently about what you choose to post online? I have personally seen TikToks of people who have commented stuff like, "Oh, I have such a small digital footprint, you'd never be able to find anything out about me." And then literally the person practically tells their whole life story based on the information that they've been able to find on their so-called uh, little digital footprint. And so the point of this activity is to help us realize that the information that we put out there can absolutely be used to find out other information about you, whether or not you intended it to do that. And so as we prepare to publish our first web pages, you'll need to think about how the information that you include on that web page can contribute to your digital footprint.